All right, hello everybody, welcome back. We have another Mag VOD review today. We have a silver mag. They say they just want to know what I could have done better. Was my priority off? And generally, what could I do better? All right, let's get to it. So this is silver. There's a lot of chaos in silver. I think mag is really difficult. But you can provide a lot of stability that your team could really try to use. So let's see how we go. All right, we're already on triple support. Oh, why are we turning around? Oh, no. Oh, okay. All right, a lot of problems already we're seeing. So, as I was saying earlier, we have Mag can really provide stability for his team by being a solid anchor, right? Now, you're playing solo tank, essentially, right now. So, if you turn around like this, and you don't hold the space, this is what's going to happen. Oh my gosh. Well, you're in silver. Okay, kind of. Here we go. Yes, the Emma has now taken the point. Okay? Not only is she taking the point, now the Thor's on point, and look how much space that their team has to work with compared to your team, right? Now, I would assume the reason we turned around here is because of the BP. Unfortunately, you're solo tanking, so you cannot turn around, right? Yeah. So you have to understand when you're playing mag and when you're playing tank in general, like your number one priority is frontline. You do not get to peel unless somebody else is dealing with the frontline. So if you had an Emma here, like if we swap this this reed for an Emma, then you absolutely can and should have turned around for the BP, okay? So yeah, this literally can like cost your team the entire point already, which is not good, but that's okay. We get it. I'm Celestial 1 currently. Oh dang, nice. Congrats.
I shall not be removed so easily.
All right, so now how do we regain composure? Now we have another tank, but you're still the frontline tank, okay? This is another important thing with mag. You have to understand, like, Rogue is going to be better suited to peel, and you're better suited to hold the front line. Okay, good mag bubble. Let's back up to the front. Good. Oh, we're dead. Okay, now we're down a DPS. We should probably play it real slow. Oh, now we double support ult. Uh-oh. Yay, silver! Nice. Okay. Shield it off. Shield it off. So, a little micro tip. You actually don't need to shield off up. You can actually just shield off down. And if you look at the circle, you just shield towards the center of the circle. The next thing I'm noticing is your sensitivity is really low. It's really low, and it feels to me like you're picking up your mouse a lot. So I'm not sure what your desk setup is. So maybe we put some thought into that. Now, I like playing on a very low sensitivity. My sensitivity is extremely low. I make up for that with big desk and big mouse pad. So that way, if I need to look around, I can whip my whole arm around. So because you still need access to both, right? So we got to be able to manage everything. Yeah, you're really just shirking your frontline duties right here. Because of that, they just get to walk in. If I'm playing mag here, like, I don't care that the BP is over here. I actually need to go over here. Over here. And then the BP is going to run circles on your backline, and that's just not your job. As shitty as it sounds, like you kind of just gotta let it go because you are the front line.
Much better.
But we have so much downtime right here. We're missing out on ult charge. We're missing out on holding space. Feels like what I want you to be thinking right now is I want you to be as active as possible. Have as little downtime as possible.
Cannot be quelled. I commend.
Oh, now we're on Venom. Okay, fair enough. Nice.
Their team's capture progress has passed the halfway point.
Experimenting with what works, but good balance between high and not too high. Yeah, it's kind of tough when you have a small mouse pad. Just find the right one. Just find whatever works. So I'm not sure if you've spent a lot of time in the practice range, but I'd spend a lot of time in the practice range and just rotate between like medium range and close range, and then adjust your sense and like practice for a little while and see what you can find. It's different for everybody. It's most personal preference. But... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, don't... Yeah. Oh no, stay on point! Stay on point! Oh, objective based game. Okay. Okay. All right. So we need to talk about like momentum. So you're fighting a 2v6 right now, and you lost point. So there's really like no reason to get here. So this is really hard to like tell because it's silver, and I don't know how much of the game knowledge that you still have. Okay. What is happening on my phone? So how in depth do we want to go? How familiar are you with the hero shooter like 6v6 genre? Did you play much Overwatch? Good stuff, Churro. Chaotism, you're insane. My first shooter period. I come from fighting games and a little bit of League of Legends. Okay. So at least you have fighting game experience. In fighting game, I'm sure you're aware of like momentum, right? There's a time to push forward and there's a time to back up based on momentum. It feels like in this game you don't have a good sense of it. So to start off with, make sure, hit escape, go to settings, go to audio, combat mix, and obviously you can slow that down. And then go down to KO sound cue, announce when a teammate is KO'd, and announce enemy. These are off by default, right? So make sure to turn these on and turn them up to where you can hear them, because every time a teammate dies or a friendly dies, oh boy, it'll start showing up. And then you can pay attention. That's like the easiest thing you can possibly do to understand momentum, right? The next thing you can pay attention to is like space, but that's a more of a higher level concept. We can go over it like kind of quickly, especially since this is your first like shooter. Okay, it looks like, hang on. So you've definitely been on the shorts and the like, you know, you've looked at some character guides for sure because you know the combo. So I'm not gonna, now we're just gonna talk like straight up We're gonna talk like big macro concept, okay? Like you've definitely got it. So we're gonna skip through. We're gonna go straight to here. And we're gonna talk about space. Because I think this is where you're gonna get them.
Mission area. Got it?
All right, this is a good spot. Okay. So when we talk about space in a game like this, what is space? Space is any unoccupied area that space is any area that your team can walk through without taking damage, essentially. That's as like simple as I could possibly make it. It's a little more complicated than that, right? So right here, this is space that your team has control over. And nobody's going to take any damage. This is where you can stand, okay? The enemy team has this space here. They have a little bit up here. And they have some over here that they've actually taken, right? So space is really something that you need to pay attention to when you're a tank. You need to understand what space your team has, what space the enemy team has, and what space that you need your team to have, right? So the space here is right now it's contested, okay? This is contested. Now, which team has more space? The green team. They have space over here, they have space over here, and here. Whereas your team is kind of cramped in here. Now, this is really hard to understand when you're playing dive because the way that your tank interacts with space is just completely different. Okay? Now, if you're Venom, you're solo tanking again. Now, because we're solo tanking and we didn't take the space early, now this team has so much more freedom to be able to walk around and actually do things. And we're a little bit slow, and now we're in, but now it's over here. Or it's already like too late. This team has commandedly taken the space. They've gotten a kill. They've done it. So like I really want us to be aware of this space. Okay. So how could this have gone differently? First of all, Venom is really fast. Okay. So Venom can take space early. Now, if we're solo tanking and we're on a dive tank, it looks like we see there's a Spider-Man. We try to... No? Do we not? Yeah, this is just tough.
Looks like the mission area is yours to capture now.
Okay, this is a good example of like how dive tanks actually do make space. I think this is a bad time to do it because you don't have a main tank and you guys are getting pushed in. But it's silver, so things work, right? So we dive in and we push them back. Now we have a Thor attacking us, we have a Gambit, we have a Spidey, and we have a Daredevil. All four of these people are shooting at you and they're backing up. And what happens while we're doing that? The Emma now no longer has support and she has to back up or die. And she dies. Now that she dies, now these people have way less pressure on them and they can actually walk forward, right? So you actually did make a lot of space for your team. Unfortunately, like I said, it was a little too late. We didn't have a main and we stayed for too long. Okay, so the way you want to think about this as an off tank is you want to do this and then just get out. Okay, you get out and then you rejoin your team and you help them take advantage of the space that you made. Okay, does that make sense? These are very like macro concepts that are difficult to understand until you get it enough.
The moon.
Usually right as you pop the blue, that's the time you swing on get back to your team. Yeah.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, and then once again, before we go in, we also need to think about like momentum, right? We see our Namor is dead. We only have 2 on point, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. We know their Emma died, so we're probably fighting 4v5, and then our team is still in spawn. This is just not really a good time to go in. I would, if I were you, I'd just sit here and wait. Yeah, that's why we don't want to go in.
You can't get rid of us so easy.
I will also say as a mag myself, I think off tank's much easier in low ranks. Yeah, for sure. It depends.
Back to full strength.
You've captured more than half of the mission area. Keep going.
All right, nice. Now the map is rotating. It's going to be a little weird, but we're all together and we have momentum. This is an excellent time to dive. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be a really bad habit. So as Caesar said, you don't want to shift in. What you actually want to do with Venom is you want to get to a spot, you want to climb up a wall, and then you go in with your F, okay? Then, if you do it that way, now you always have your shift to get out. Because like what happened earlier is you got in with your shift, they all turned on you and you needed to get out, but you didn't have it. So that's a really bad habit. You gotta cut out. On this map with that? Yeah, I don't blame you. It's goofy. Alright, now we have a bunch of momentum. I want you to go take space. I want you to walk forward and make sure that this Emma can't walk forward. What that's also going to do is that's going to not only push the Emma back, but it's going to push your team forward in the correct position. But now, once again, we're not holding the front line. And then the Thor can literally just walk in.
The moon wants you.
Okay, time to die or get out. Die or get out. Don't stagger.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man.
Oh, and it's too late. Okay. So, yeah, this is tough. You're in a weird spot because you definitely, your game knowledge is just all over the place. Like, you know the Venom ult combos, right? But we don't know like basic concepts of like space and momentum and how our tank playstyle like interacts with those. So I want you to not focus on the micro so much and really just focus on the macro big picture things. Things like space, things like how that interacts with it. Things like denying space from the enemy tanks and things like that. The next thing that you could probably throw in there, because that's more of a like mid-fight or a pre-fight, mid-fight thing, like when the fight's just starting. The next thing, also when the fight breaks down, what I want you to do is I just want you to pick one enemy, okay? So we saw this here at the end of the last fight. Probably about like here, right? Where we're kind of like lost in the sauce. There's so much going on. And that's okay with Marvel Rivals. It takes a lot to get used to, right? So what I want you to do is pre-fight, I want you to be thinking about momentum. Who has space? Who doesn't have space? And things like that. The next thing, I want you to focus when a fight breaks down and you're actually in the sauce. I want you to just pick one person on the enemy team. Tank, support, DPS, doesn't matter. Pick the first one you see and just follow them. And just be like, okay, I'm shooting this Thor now. All I'm going to do is shoot the Thor. That's it. I'm just going to focus on the Thor. And what you're going to do is you're going to build up a skill that allows you to follow people through team fights, okay? And what that's going to do, that's going to anchor your mind and help you to not get lost in the sauce. Once you get really good at that skill, then we can take a step back and think like, okay, I know that I can follow somebody through the chaos of a Marvel Rivals team fight. Now I'm going to pick the correct person, okay? But that'll be later. So definitely, like, those are the two things that I really want you to focus on. Of just, like, the concept of space before a fight. Who has space? How do I interact with the space? Do I want to take space away? Do I want to give space based on momentum? And then, once a team fight breaks down, just pick one person. And if you do that, you'll start being able to navigate these, like, things. These team fight situations. You'll be able to navigate them a lot better and feel way more comfortable. Is there a specific role to focus? I'd assume with Venom, pick a support. I'd probably focus. Yeah, in general, if you can. If you can, sure. But I wouldn't really worry about that because that's just going to slow down your thought process until you get the skill of just tracking the first person that you see for long enough. Like, that's really... Because if you can't track a Thor running through, you're definitely not going to be able to track a Cloak or an Invis or even a Luna or a Jeff, right? So really just focus on the first person you can find and sticking with them and building that skill up. That's also going to play into like your mouse sensitivity and things like that, because it's way easier to track somebody when we're playing poke back here than it is when we're trying to chase, you know, a Gambit who's like in our face and dashing forward and backwards and all that stuff. So anyway, that's it for this VOD review, at least for the YouTube video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. God bless. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.